Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of February 8th through February 12th, 2021. And what I will do here is I will look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, just so we can see what happened this past week, okay? And then I will compare that to higher time frames, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly, and then I will try to give you my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week, okay? So to begin with, we look right here on the chart. I get EURUSD pulled up, okay, and we see that we had a big price drop this past week, and then on Friday it spiked back up a little bit. All right, so what this signifies is that the market is definitely getting ready to reverse. Okay, we've been waiting a long time for a lot of reversals, and now we're starting to see these big reversals in the market beginning to happen. Okay. And this EURUSD has definitely been wanting to go into a downtrend for quite some time, because it had a big bull run for the last several months. Okay, probably the last 6 months actually. So anyhow, we do see that it dropped right. Now let's look at the 4-hour chart and compare that. Okay, now on the 4-hour chart, we see something a little interesting. Okay, we see that we hit this blue arrow now, have a big spike up. All right. Now we also see we had a blue arrow here followed by another blue arrow, okay, which is not uncommon, but it is, it doesn't happen all the time. If I zoom out, we don't see it happen too much. Here we had 2 blue arrows followed by a red arrow. It doesn't happen too many times that we will see 2 colors. Now here we have 2 red arrows followed by a blue. So I've never seen 3 of the same color in a row. Okay, there are times where we have 2 of the same color, but it's always followed by the opposite color. Okay, so I feel that we will definitely see an increase, and we will see a red arrow. The next arrow will be a red arrow. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, now if we look at the daily chart, okay, the daily chart shows you sell, and the weekly chart shows the sell as well. So what this means is that we're definitely going into a downtrend, and long term it's going to be dropping. Okay, and I said this in the last week's video, but we are definitely seeing signs that this will be dropping. Now with the 4-hour showing to go up, what I think is going to happen is this week we will see the price go up even more. Okay, now if you look at the smaller time frames, 1 hour shows to buy and 30 minutes shows to sell. So right now the price will probably drop a little bit and then go back up even more. Okay, and if I go back to the 4-hour chart, what I'm thinking, okay, the price is going to go up to a level of resistance. It's not going to go up to where this red arrow was before, okay, but it's probably more than likely going to go up probably right about here, somewhere in here. We have resistance here. See, this is a resistance in the past and support also. So this is a pretty strong resistance right now. We have one slightly higher right here at this point. Okay, so it's going to go somewhere in here. Okay, probably right about here, maybe even this point. Okay, we had different points of resistance as it dropped. Okay, now like I said, the price will probably drop a little bit on Monday and then spike back up. All right, so we can expect probably this week and next week for the price to go back up. Okay, so the market right now is in a state of, I don't know, equilibrium, and all these pairs are fighting to gain strength. Okay, keep that in mind. So the US dollar is starting to gain traction, and I will show you that here in a few minutes. But with the euro fighting the gain also is neck and neck. Okay, and that's going to happen with all the pairs really. So I think there's going to be a lot of range of markets. So what we can do this week is keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and I recommend both buy and sell. Okay, now on Monday, wait until at least the London session, just see what the market is doing. Okay, how the market is behaving. When the market first opens on Monday, it's very sluggish, and I do not recommend trading right away. Okay, wait till at least the London session, maybe even the New York session, just to see how things are going. Okay, so I do feel that this will drop some and then go back up. So as it stands right now, we're at a pretty soft, hard level of resistance. I could draw a horizontal line right here. Okay, we have a resistance here, here, and here. Okay, that's the reason we have a red arrow on the 30-minute time frame, because this is a pretty solid resistance. But all resistances and support levels will eventually get broken. Okay, guaranteed. So what would this drop right now? Pop, most likely. This most likely will drop some and then spike back up, and this will break and go up even higher because the 4-hour shows to go up. Okay, so like I said, this will probably drop a ways and then go back up, and we should see this by Tuesday or Wednesday break and go even higher. Okay, so if you want, okay, here's what I would suggest for this week. Okay, keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame and look for buy opportunities only. Okay, you can both buy and sell, but I would probably look for buy opportunities only. Okay, moving on to GBPUSD. Okay, moving on to GBPUSD. Now we see here this is more or less a flat range market, and the price did dip down and spike back up, and the price ended pretty much exactly where it began. So what does that signify? Well, it signifies that both these currencies are fighting. Both these currencies are strong. The Great British Pound has been the stronger of the two for quite some time, but now the US dollar is gaining strength, so the Great British Pound is not going to maintain this for too much longer. Okay, and I know a lot of people are waiting for the Great British Pound to drop. So let's look at the 4-hour chart real quick. Okay, the 4-hour chart, like we've seen for quite some time, has a red arrow but no blue arrow. Okay, so we're definitely waiting for this to form a blue arrow. Now, will it form another red arrow? I don't know. It is possible. If we look in the past, we have 2 blue arrows in a row here, but we're in a positive uptrend at that time. Now the market has stalled out. Okay, it's just riding sideways right now, and I'm trying to see here, we had 2 red arrows. So we had a red arrow followed by another higher red arrow, and then a blue arrow dropped. All right, so if we look in the past, here we had 2 blue arrows, blue arrow followed by a lower blue arrow, and then a red arrow. So it does happen. Okay, so this price could go higher and form another red arrow even higher. Okay, keep that in mind. But if we look at the daily chart, look at this. The daily chart shows to sell, and here we even have 2 red arrows in a row, which is very rare. Okay, and it does happen. You see this right here in front of me. All right, so what's going to happen this week? I do not feel that this price is going to go any higher. Okay, because like I said, if you have 2 red arrows in a row, the next one is definitely going to be a blue arrow. Okay, I can look in the past and see if we have two arrows of the same color in a row. And here we had, look, here's a good example. We have 2 red arrows. Okay, same spot followed by a blue arrow. Okay, so based on historical data, historical evidence, this one is a red arrow followed by a higher blue arrow. Okay, so what I think is going to happen this week is definitely going to drop. Okay, we're at a pretty solid level of resistance already. If we look at the weekly chart, again, we have a solid red arrow. Okay, so all indicators are showing the sell, and we're at a pretty strong level of resistance. So we're definitely getting ready to see some reversals in the market. Okay, on the weekly chart, I don't think there's any times where we've had well, here we had 2 blue arrows in a row, but it's not impossible. Here's 2 blue arrows in a row, so it's not impossible, but I don't think we're going to have another red arrow, okay, in a row. It's possible, but I don't think it's going to happen. All right, I think it's definitely going to drop now, and it's going to be dropping for quite a ways. And the reason I say this is because the US dollar is gaining traction. Okay, so what should we do this week? Okay, well, everything is pointing to sell, so I would I would be looking to sell. Well, you can both buy and sell. Okay, you can both buy and sell. If we look at the, if I zoom out on 30-minute time frame, we see right here from the 21st of January. Okay, actually for quite a while it's been riding in a sideways fashion, but just from the 21st of January right here till now, we see that it's been riding up and down. So you have some definite good buy and sell opportunities, and it's going to continue like that. But eventually we're going to see a positive downtrend. Okay, it's going to take some time. All right, I've been saying this for a while. It's going to take a few months before we see any serious downtrend. Okay, but we are starting to see these reversals in the market forming. So right now is a good time to sell, and once you place a sell trade, you can close it when you get the opposite blue arrow, and then when you get the next blue arrow, place a buy trade and reverse that procedure. Okay, and you notice that these trades, if I zoom in a bit, like for example, this was on the 27th of January, and the next arrow came in on the 28th, and then you buy here, and you place another, you close the trade here on the 1st of February. So you have a few days in between. Okay, now you see the price spiked up and dropped back down, etc., etc. So just, you know, be patient with this. Okay, here you had a big spike up. Here you had two blue arrows in a row, but then a big spike up. Okay, so if you place a buy trade here, you would have had some drawdown for sure, and you probably been scared, but then you spike back up, right? So definitely be on the lookout for that. But you can both buy and sell this week. I feel very confident that you can do that. So let's look at Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Okay, again, we see just a flat range of market where the price actually ended slightly higher than where it began. So what does that signify? Well, it signifies that the Australian dollar has been very strong, and but the fact that it's flatlined and moving in a flat direction signifies that a definite reversal is getting ready to happen. Okay, if we look at the 4-hour chart, okay, 4-hour chart, we have up arrow, and we've been showing that for the last 2 weeks or the last week or so, but I feel that it probably will go up even higher, but not that much higher. Okay, because if we look at the daily chart shows the sell, and the weekly chart shows the sell as well. So with that said, we're definitely going into a downtrend. Now the 4-hour shows the buy. How much higher will it go? Okay, it's not going to go that much higher. Okay, all right, what I think is going to happen is we have a resistance right here. I think it's going to go as high as that. Okay, and look there, the 1-hour shows a sell already, but we know that this can repaint. Okay, so it's probably going to go even higher. Okay, we have a resistance here. 30-minute shows a sell. So my best guess is that in the beginning of the week it's going to drop, and then towards the middle of the week it'll spike back up. Probably Monday it'll drop, Tuesday it'll pick back up again, and we should see this go even higher. Okay, you probably have a red arrow here, drop, and then another red arrow even higher on the 30-minute time frame. So what should you do this week? Okay, well, what I would do in this particular case is, we know that bigger time frames show this sell, so we definitely want to sell. So what I would do is, this is just what I would do. I would keep your charts on the 4-hour time frame for right now. Wait until you get a red arrow on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, this is a little bit different, but wait till you get a red arrow on the 4-hour time frame, and then sell. Okay, and then look at the smaller time frames to make sure they have a red arrow as well. Okay, and then you want to sell. Okay, you could also put a sell limit pin and order right here by this group where this green arrow is, where this resistance is, and get ready to sell. But to be safe, I would probably just wait till you get a red arrow on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, and it's going to be in a range of market, so it will be ultimately safe to both buy and sell. But just wait until you get a red arrow on the 4-hour chart, then place your sell trade using a 30-minute time frame. Okay, switch back to a 30-minute time frame, and then close the trade when you get the opposite blue arrow on the 30-minute time frame. and then just repeat that process. Okay, buy on the blue, sell, close on the red. Okay, sell on the red, close it on the blue. All right, just keep repeating that process. All right, just wait, be patient right now. Do not place any sell trade right now because it's probably going to go even higher. I'd hate for you to sell right now and then it spike up even more. Okay, so just be careful, be patient on this one. USDCHF. Okay, now we're going to the US dollar versus Swiss franc here, and we see that now we're seeing the US dollar gain traction. Okay, and this is what I said earlier. Okay, US dollar is definitely gaining momentum. Okay, we see the price going up. Now we see it retrace back down. This is normal in the Forex world, and it probably will retrace a little bit more. I don't know, but we had a big bull run, which is good. That's good for the US dollar. Now we zoom out to the 4-hour time frame. All right, look at this 4-hour chart. Okay, we have a solid red arrow. So if we look right here on, what is it, EURUSD on the 4-hour chart, we have a solid blue arrow showing to go up, and USDCHF we have a solid red arrow. Opposite effect. Okay, but we're not going to have a huge drop, I don't think, because if we look at the daily chart, the daily chart shows the buy, and the weekly chart shows the buy as well. So we are definitely going into an uptrend with the US dollar. So how far will it drop? So this week we can expect it to drop even more. But if we look at the 30-minute time frame, well, it doesn't show the buy there. 1 hour, so everything's showing the sell. There we go. I had to let it refresh. So on the 15-minute time frame, we go down to the 15-minute, we show the buy. Okay, now the 15-minute is not that strong of a signal, but it's okay. So I think, just like I told you with EURUSD, we will see a spike back up in the beginning of the week, and then by Tuesday going to Wednesday we'll see an even further drop. Okay, so we can expect a slight spike up and then a bigger drop back down. Now how far will it drop? Well, we have a resistance here, okay, with this red arrows, but I do not think it's going to drop that far. All right, what I think, and I'm not a fortune teller, but we have a support right here. Okay, I'll just mark that so you can see it. Okay, we have a support right here. If I zoom out a little bit, we can see it was a resistance in the past right here. Okay, and I don't know where else, but I'm not going too far back, but there's definitely a strong support right now. Okay, so what should you do this week? Okay, well, it's not, this will probably take another 2 weeks for this to drop all the way. I don't think it's going to drop that far this week, because we should see a retracement back up and then it drop more. It might drop that far this week, but I don't think so. Probably going to next week. Okay, that's a 400-point drop. It could drop that far, but then again, like I said, in the beginning of the week it's going to spike up, and by the end of the week it'll spike back down. Okay, so I think more or less probably be safe to both buy and sell, but keep your charts on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, like right now it shows to sell, but I would not sell. Wait till at least the New York session on Monday to see what the market is doing, and then see if it forms a blue arrow. Okay, and you should see another spike back up. The problem is the weekly chart and daily chart show to buy, so we want to focus on buying. Does that make sense? So wait till you get a blue arrow on a 30-minute time frame and then buy and close it on the opposite red arrow. Now with the market dropping right now, we're going to get caught in a range of market probably for the next couple weeks. All right, so I do feel it would be safe to both buy and sell. Just wait until, you know, at least the New York session, just to see what happens with this US dollar. I do feel that it will drop this week, so but it's going to be a slow drop. Okay, it's going to drop probably this week, going into next week and the following week, and then going in towards the middle of February, towards the end of February, we'll see a bigger spike back up. Okay, so it's going to be a slow and gradual process for this to make its uptrend that it's been wanting to do for quite some time. Like I said, the daily chart here, look at this daily chart. I'm going to show you the past always repeats itself in Forex. Okay, we can look at the past right here. We had a nice spike up here, and then just ride sideways for a while, then another spike up, ride sideways for a while, and then another spike up. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so we can expect this probably for the next 2 weeks for this to be riding sideways. Okay, so it should be safe, ultimately safe to both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. Just wait until at least the New York session on Monday. Okay, moving on to USDJPY. Again, we see here pretty much the same thing, where price had a nice bull run all week and then hit a strong level of resistance, and it's kind of starting to go down. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see again it hit a strong level of resistance and should be dropping this week. If we look at the daily chart, again it shows the buy, weekly chart shows the buy. So we know long term is going to definitely be going up. We already see this big bull run right here on the weekly chart. So the last couple of weeks, it has definitely been going up. And looking at the daily chart, this is from the end of December, beginning of January. So since the beginning of the new year 2021, this has been steadily going up. And again, look right here, we see a spike up, sideways, spike up, sideways, spike up. That's what's going to happen. Okay, and the 4-hour chart shows the sell, right? So how far will it drop? Okay, it's not going to drop a tremendous amount. And we have a support right here. If I zoom out just to try and compare, we see there's resistance here, support here. I'm just trying to look at some different points. So it's very possible it's going to go down somewhere right in there. Okay, if I zoom in a little bit so you can see this, it's going to drop somewhere right in here, and it's going to form a blue arrow. Okay, that's pretty much guaranteed because we are going into an uptrend. So this week, and that's going to, again, that's going to take probably the next 2 weeks. We're going to see this riding up and down for the next 2 weeks with an overall slight downtrend until it hits a blue arrow. Okay, look from this blue arrow to this red arrow. Okay, this is on the 21st of January until the 5th of February. So you're looking at about a 2-week or so span of time for that to happen. So again, we're going to look for another 2-week span of time before this is a bigger spike up, a bigger travel. We're going to see a smaller travel within a 2-week span of time. So we're going to see like more of a range of market with a slight decrease. Okay, so that's okay. So it'll be safe, honestly, it'd be safe to both buy and sell. As of right now, right this minute, it should be dropping. Okay, just wait until the New York session starts on Monday, just to see what happens with the US dollar, and then place your trades accordingly. It should be dropping some more on Monday morning. I think probably Monday or Tuesday, probably by Tuesday, we should see a blue arrow. We notice here we have a red arrow followed by another red arrow, which means that the third arrow should be a blue arrow. Okay, it is very, very rare to see 3 arrows of the same color in a row. So with that said, I was trying to look in the past real quick, but anyhow, it had a big bull run, obviously, with the US dollar. That's good, but now we're getting ready to see it drop and form a blue arrow, and we have a resistance here and support here. I think this support here is where you're going to see the blue arrow form. Okay, it's going to spike back up a ways and then drop, and this will break and drop even more. Okay, if you go back to the 4-hour chart, which we really want to look at, we see that this is where we are projected the blue arrow to form on the 4-hour chart, and again, that's going to take about 2 weeks or so. So ultimately, it's going to be safe to both buy and sell using a 30-minute time frame. Okay, because we're going to be caught in a range of market over time. All right, for the next 2 weeks. Moving on to US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Again, we see here on the 30-minute time frame that is pretty much just a flat range of market, right? So right now it looks like it wants to buy. It shows to go up. We hit a level, same level of support that it hit several times in the past. so it should be going up. This pair always behaves a little bit different than other USD pairs, but because the Canadian dollar is a very strong currency as well. But we see here on the 4-hour chart that it is, oops, let me zoom in a little bit. The 4-hour chart shows to sell. So what's going to happen? Well, I think this support, right, is that right now. This support on the 1-hour chart shows to buy, but I think that's going to get broken. Okay, now it's probably going to spike up a little bit on Monday, but eventually it's going to break, okay, and drop even further. I do feel very sure of that. Now, how far will it drop? Okay, again, it's going to take about another 2 weeks for this to drop, so don't think there's going to be a huge drop. But we see right here, there's a support right here. I'm looking at that. That looks like a strong support level. I'm thinking it's going to drop somewhere right in here. I don't know exactly where. And again, that's going to take the next 2 weeks. So what's going to happen is it's going to get caught in the range of market with a slight steady decrease. Okay. So as of right now, it's showing to go up. Probably in the beginning of the week, we will see a spike back up. And then around the middle of the week, around Wednesday, we see a spike back down. And then by the end of the week, by Friday, it should end lower than where it began, and probably end somewhere right here in the middle. Okay, so we see a blue arrow, red arrow, and then another blue arrow even lower. That's what I'm thinking will happen. Okay, but again, it should ultimately be safe to both buy and sell this week, because it's going to be more or less in the range of market. Just keep in mind that the US dollar, at least for the next 2 weeks, will be on a slow and steady downtrend. Okay, that's what we can predict, we can expect for the US dollar. Okay, now if you have any questions about this predictions, or if you want me to analyze any other currency pair, please hit me up on Facebook so we can discuss that. I put a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Okay, please contact me there first. All right. Also, there's a link for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join my Facebook group and post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. Okay, so with that said, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.